Hello guys, welcome to the wonderful land of YouTube. So on today's video, which will be I reckon a bit of a short one, we are heading off to Destination Triumph Dorset. I believe that's what it's officially called, Destination Triumph Dorset. I always call it Destination Triumph Christchurch because it's actually in Christchurch, which of course is in Dorset. So today it's the I think it's the 18th of March. Anyway, basically they advertised on their website that they're doing an extended test ride today, something like that, extended options for test riding, something like that. So from what I can gather, they got some of those really big lorries that have all got like nice sort of sign writing on the side of them to show off the latest Triumph models. And yeah, that's the whole purpose, that I presume there's a few more extra models to try than you would find on a regular test ride from the store, from the dealership. So I'm just going to head on down there and have a little bit of a look. I don't know anyone that's going to be down there, although you never know, might bump into someone. So yeah, I think I probably won't test ride any of the bikes because I think you're supposed to book that in, and I haven't booked anything in. I wasn't sure about coming because of the weather. It's been on and off rain. It's mild, it's warm-ish, but it's that rain that was putting me off. So anyway, I didn't book anything in. But it's one of them, you know, because of the weather, because it's probably not going to be that busy, there might be an availability to take something out. However, I do not feel that I will take that option, primarily because I kind of know what I'm like, and I know that if I take out, my bike of choice would be the Street Triple. If I take out the Street Triple RS or whatever, chances are I'm going to put a deposit down and want to buy it and then trade in my Yamaha MT-09 that I'm on for this video, and I can't afford to do that. So that's not good for me to take a test ride, because I went down there, was it maybe last year or the year before, so before the release of these latest models, which they do look a bit different and they do have some different features to the Street Triples I was looking at. Anyway, I went down there and had a look, and the top spec Street Triple that was available at the time, like I say, this must be, perhaps it was 2 years ago, I think it was around about £10,000. I can't really remember. All I remember thinking was, well, that's a good price for a brand new bike. So yeah, I was quite close to getting one then, because I had my MT-09 back then, and I looked at the Triumph as being an equivalent, but I guess, oh, there's a pheasant there, I won't run him over. Yeah, I looked at it as being a bit of an equivalent to my MT-09, but one level up. That's the thing I looked at, and the price, I was like, wow, that's really good for a British brand new, you know, top spec, not the bottom of the range Street Triple, literally top of the range. Another pheasant on the side there. Yeah, I was impressed with the price. I thought that was great. But I'm not quite so sure, you know, like I think it's had a whole load of extra stuff, like component wise, that was above and beyond my MT-09, so suspension, brakes, whatever, right? But the fact they were made out in Malaysia or Indonesia or somewhere like Thailand put me off, and I thought, you know, like, I'm really keen on supporting British brands and, you know, all that sort of patriotic stuff, but the fact they weren't made in the UK did put me off to a certain extent. And I know some of the models are still made in the UK, but that's obviously the much higher end or whatever. So yeah, anyway, obviously in these videos I always try and get a bit of engagement from you guys. So obviously on this video it's not that much of a ride. We are going to be seeing some nice scenery apart from this drizzly rain. But yeah, what I'd like to hear some comments, see some comments on your views on Triumph. So whether you've got a Triumph, whether you've had one in the past, and yeah, just your general opinions on the brand, and of course some of the models that you may or may not have had or be interested in having, and that kind of stuff. So we'll hopefully get some comments running on this whole Triumph thing, because I've actually never owned a Triumph. When I was a kid, I mean, I say a kid, when I suppose I was a teenager, when I was leaving school, there was a dealership near me, Free Cross Motorcycles in, well, Free Cross, but it's kind of, I guess it's kind of near Verwood, kind of near, it depends on where you're from, but if you want to say it's closer-ish to Bournemouth or whatever, like I say, depending on how well you know the area. But anyway, they sold Triumphs, and I remember I went in there, and I would have had possibly a little Yamaha at the time actually, but I had a 125 something or other. And I remember going in there, and I remember buying a Triumph keyring. It's a leather keyring, triangular shaped jobby, and it had the Triumph on there. It's riveted on metal thing, and I like this keyring because it was like the basic principle in my head was, you can't afford to buy a bike, I'm only a nipper, but I tell you what, I'm going to get this Triumph keyring, and one day on that keyring there's going to be a set of Triumph keys. And it never happened, so in the end I just sold the keyring, or did whatever I did with it. Yeah, so that's a bit of a shame. Like I say, I've never actually owned a Triumph, so I'll be interested to hear what people have got to say, because I've been more and more looking towards these Triumphs. Since I got this MT-09, I've been more and more looking towards Triumph as a brand, because I've always, yeah, I've got different bikes, but my modern bikes, which is what I'm on now, obviously I do have classics, is Japanese, being that it's Yamaha, but I've had Suzuki and whatever. So for a modern bike I've always been Japanese based. I felt they offered the best performance and reliability, but like I say, nowadays I'm looking more, just wiping the old visor here, I'm looking a bit more towards going British and getting in with the Triumph brand. So within the British brands, I kind of feel that Triumph is the strongest. So there's obviously a few out there. Again, I suppose it's difficult what you call British, because I was going to put BSA in that. Now they've got their new Gold Star out, but is it really British or is it Indian? I don't know. Yeah, so see what this Volvo's doing. He's going straight on, fair enough. Yeah, so anyway, the British brands, like I say, you've got CCM out there, like I say, you've potentially got the BSA, and what else is there out there at the moment that's British? You got the Royal Enfields, like I say, I kind of chuck them in the British thing as well, because again, they're probably Indian or whatever. Oh man, the rain's coming down a bit worse now. What a fucking joke. I sat at home feeling like, oh, you know what, it's forecast rain, but it looks real nice. It was blue skies and all the rest of it. And by the time my missus and kids finally got out of the house, and I was waiting for that to happen to come out on my little ride, yeah, obviously changed into this kind of weather. So that might dampen the mood down at Destination Triumph, and this video could be a bit of a waste of time. There's no one there, there's no bikes out on display, but like I say, fuck it, we'll give it a go. And although like I say, I'm probably not going to test ride, I'm hoping you guys can get to see some of the very latest models that are on display. Anyway, back to it. Yeah, can't remember what I was on about now, but anyway, the British brand. So yeah, I do kind of feel like Triumph is probably the strongest from the British brands. I probably haven't mentioned all of them. I think Hesketh is currently up and running. I'm sure there's more out there that I've failed to mention, but I feel like Triumph are kind of smashing it, because everyone that I speak to that's got a modern Triumph, and I know quite a few people that have, it's very, like I say, it's very popular. none of them slag them off. They're always saying they're happy with their bikes, they're happy with the value for money, they're happy with the quality, they're happy with the reliability and the performance and the whole package. And this place we're going to today, it's one of the newest Triumph dealerships, I believe, in the country. It was only built perhaps a year ago, or maybe it might be 2, I don't know, again, it's a bit hard to remember. And it became, like I say, it won. I think it was the best selling dealership in the country, and if it wasn't the best, it was certainly second place, and I remember it being second place last year, I think it was. So anyway, it's definitely always been right up there within their best-selling dealerships, and I think that's because it's a new place, so I guess it's a new facility, purpose-built. I also think that where it is located is a kind of an area where you've got quite a lot of wealth and you've got quite a lot of aging population around here. So people that might live in Muddyford, they might live in Christchurch, they might live in the New Forest. Those are nice areas where the people living there are going to be quite well off, but like I say, they're also generally of the older generation. It's people kind of come out with these things like, oh, you know, the South Coast, you know, down here is the New Forest, wherever, Lymington, this, that, the other. It's where the old people come to die, which is a bit of a harsh thing to say, but I suppose a lot of people used to love to come and like move down to Bournemouth for when they were like retiring, because of the beach, the fresh air and this and that. So yeah, so I think it's a good audience where it's located. I think, like I say, you've got this sort of older generation which would admire Triumph. They would aspire to own a Triumph. They may have had a few in the past, but they might want a modern alternative than some ropey old banger. So I think, like I say, I think you've got quite a good location for it, and I'm hoping that it's not just because it was a new built store, as in, like, you know, when you open up a new business, it does very well, and that's just because it's new. I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping that they succeed and continue to be successful for many years to come, because, you know, it'd be great, like I say, to have a dealership like that on my doorstep should I happen to go and buy a Triumph. You know, you want to take it in there for servicing, or just even to get the after sales, if, you know, as in, like, if you've got an issue or whatever, you don't want to be riding or driving hours to see someone. So that's really cool that it's on the doorstep. So I'm hoping that, like I say, it's not just that, I'm hoping it's successful because of its location, and perhaps just Triumph as a brand. I don't know. Another guy here, not very friendly one, I mean, he nodded, acknowledgement of fellow biker. So anyway, yeah, like I say, hopefully we can get back to people's thoughts and feelings towards Triumph. Maybe, like I say, maybe you've owned one. I think, like I say, I think out of the range, I'd probably be looking at the Street Triple. I don't think I'd be able to say I wouldn't be able to handle, but I mean, the Speed Triple being I think it's a 1200. I think that just sounds like a bit of a big engine to me. I'm like, this thing I'm on here is an 850cc, and I think that's the biggest engine I've ever owned. And modern bikes like this, modern Japanese bikes like this, like my other bike previous was a Suzuki GSX-R 600, but it's just unbelievable fucking power and performance. It's like, you know, people want the R1, or perhaps that's a bit outdated now, but anyway, people want the 1000cc sports bike and variants of it. But yeah, I tell you, like I say, a 600 maxed out sports bike is proper fast, and this thing I'm on here, like I say, it's a fast bike, and I personally don't particularly see myself needing a bigger engine bike. But maybe the Speed Triple's not about that, so I don't know. But the Street Triple is one I think I'd, like I say, I'd end up with. But I've been eyeing up the old Scrambler, and again, I know it's 1200, but they do a 900 Scrambler, I believe, and that looks tasty, you know, like, but then again, people might have an opinion that unless you're going for the 1200, you know, what are you doing? You know, that's what the Scrambler is, type thing, you know. My mate's got the 1200 Scrambler, so I presume it's 1200, like I say, I think it is. He's happy with it. He bought it second hand, but it was a new one, you know, modern one with hardly any miles on it when he bought it. So yeah, I have been eyeing up the Scrambler a little bit, but like I say, chances are it'd be the old Street Triple. So that's my sort of flavour of Triumph, but obviously what's yours? So like I said before, we'll have a few comments on that, I think. Yeah. And perhaps, like I say, it'd be good to have some background of your experiences with Triumph, should you have been involved with them. I'm always interested to know what people's experiences are of after sales treatment, because when I bought my GSX-R 600 it was effectively brand new. It was an ex-demo bike, but you know, like I say, obviously I got it from the dealer, and I didn't think the after sales experience was that good, to be fair. I thought they were a little bit arsehole-ish, you know, like literally, oh well, if you're not buying a bike, we ain't fucking interested, even though you just bought something off them for thousands of pounds. So yeah, yeah, I'm always, like I say, I'm always quite keen to hear people's stories of after sales experience. Oh shit, I'm in the wrong fucking lane here. There we go. Yeah, because like I say, I think that's as important as the rest of it. If someone, as a company, you know, if a business, if a dealership can't be fucked to deal with yourselves when you're actual owners, actual clients, actual customers of their brand, I think that's really poor show. Now anyway, it's somewhere up here on the left, I think it's just here, so I'm going to pull in, let's have a look, and then oh yeah, there we go, you'll see the fucking Triumph's vans. But oh yeah, that'll fucking bang it in here, I think. Right, not going to go inside the store with this camera on, but I'm kind of hoping I might get away with showing you guys some of what's on the other side of these vans here. They got, like I say, they got the nice pictures up, haven't they? Speed Triple, and then that other one, what's it called? RR something, isn't it? That race bike looking one. But yeah, anyway, hopefully we'll have a bit of a gander and we'll see who's here. Oh, there's a Tenere there. I quite like the old Tenere, the old Triumph. Yamaha, what the fuck am I talking about? Triumph, yeah. Two of them. Oh, there's a few bikes here, look. Now that little one over here, the black and white one, that is the Triton, I believe. That does look cool. I like that. £7 It's a bloody bargain, isn't it? Brand new bike. Bloody hell. Yeah. Street Triple R in white, that's nice as well. Yeah. I'll unplug my microphone now, take the helmet off, but you guys will still be watching some of this. Like I say, some of the bikes that are here on offer for test ride. There's the old cable.